He was once the most powerful and feared king in the world, but one day he was mysteriously killed and reincarnated into another world as Arthur, the son of a loving couple named Alice and Reynolds. At first, Arthur was confused, but he quickly adapted to his new life. Although his new parents adored him, Arthur found his life rather boring until one day he saw his parents use magic for the first time. That moment made him fascinated with this world, and he instantly fell in love with it. As time passed, Arthur learned to crawl, and the first thing he did was secretly study the history of this world. He discovered that the continent he was born on is called Dicathan, which is made up of 3 kingdoms: the Sapien Kingdom, where he lives, the most populous nation inhabited by humans, the Darv Kingdom, a subterranean nation of dwarves, and the Eleanor Kingdom, a nation of elves deep within a forest. Compared to his previous world, this one seemed to still be developing, and the reason was clear: because this world had magic. The ability to control mana is mostly hereditary and only occurs in about 1 out of every 100 people. There are 2 main ways mana is used: augmenting and conjuring. Augmenters use mana to enhance their bodies, granting them incredible strength, defense, and agility. Conjurers, on the other hand, can project and shape mana however they wish. Arthur then recalled the moment his mother used healing magic on his father, which made him think there might be exceptions to the general rules. He continued reading and discovered that the key to using mana lies in the mana core. Most people begin to access their powers between puberty and their late teens by channeling the scattered mana in their bodies into a single point, called the mana core, and learning to control it, one becomes a mage. Arthur also remembered a similar concept from his past life called Ki. It was all about becoming aware of your internal power, learning to control it, and then unleashing it. The center of your Ki was essential for doing all of that. Curious to see if the concept of Ki could be applied to this world's magic, Arthur tried using his understanding of Ki as a way to access mana, since the two seemed very similar in nature. But before he could find out, his mother suddenly picked him up and realized he had pooped. This made Arthur so embarrassed, as he had been so focused on reading that he hadn't even noticed it himself. 2 years passed, and Arthur was now able to walk. His father began trying to teach him how to swing a weapon, which greatly upset his mother when she found out. Afterward, his mother took him to town, Arthur's favorite place, because it was where he could gather all kinds of useful information to better understand this world. Observing the types and quality of weapons helped him judge the nation's technological level, and being around others gave him chances to witness magic firsthand. Arthur felt incredibly grateful to his parents, who always seemed to care for his every need. Even though this life could feel stifling at times, it was far from unpleasant. He began to wonder if this is what families were always supposed to be like. After all, in his past life, he had never experienced anything like it. One day, while watching his father train, Arthur realized that his father was an augmenter. Inspired, he suddenly wanted to try using magic himself. But just as he was getting excited, his mother picked him up and insisted it was time for his nap. Panicked, Arthur pleaded with her to let him read instead. Amused by his cute face, she couldn't resist and gave in. Once she left the room, Arthur focused on trying to form a mana core. He concentrated on gathering the countless fragments of mana in his body into a single point. Meanwhile, outside, his parents were chatting when a sudden explosion came from inside the house. Alarmed, they rushed in, only to be surprised to find that Arthur had awakened his magic. Just then, a piece of wood cracked and fell toward Arthur. Terrified, he thought he was going to die again, but his parents leapt in front of him, shielding him from harm. Realizing they didn't hesitate to protect him, Arthur felt touched and overwhelmed and began to cry as he realized how much they loved him. The scene then shifts to his past life, where a royal servant was caught attempting to assassinate him. According to the law, this was a grave crime deserving immediate punishment. However, the council decided to show mercy by allowing the servant to return to his homeland with his family and be tried there. This decision causes the servant to panic. He falls to his knees, begging the king to place all the blame on him and spare his wife and child, knowing that if they return to their homeland, they will face a fate worse than death. Without saying a word, the king swiftly kills both the wife and child in front of the man. Overwhelmed, the servant weeps, not in grief but in gratitude. Back in the present, while Arthur is training with his father, he suddenly infuses his sword with magic and manages to break his father's stick, which was also enhanced with magic. This impresses his father, who then suggests hiring a proper teacher for Arthur. However, Alice refuses. She doesn't want to be separated from Arthur. After all, there are no qualified teachers nearby, and Arthur would have to go to the big city. As they argue, Arthur suggests, "Why don't we all go together?" This idea surprises his parents. They call him a genius for thinking of it and happily agree to the suggestion. Later, Arthur's parents introduce him to their adventurer friends from the Twin Horns party, of which they were once members themselves. The party members already know Arthur, as they had met him when he was younger, and they all seem to be quite fond of him. Afterward, they all travel together to the big city called Xerus. Along the way, they encounter a group of wolf monsters, but the creatures pose no real challenge at all and are easily defeated. That night, while they eat, Alice notices an injury on Reynolds' arm and quickly begins to heal him, while the others keep watch to make sure no one sees them. After all, Alice is a special kind of mage known as an emitter who has the power of healing. Their kind are so scarce and powerful, it's risky to reveal their abilities in public. This is why Alice and Reynolds had been living quietly in their remote home until now. After finishing the healing, Adam approaches Reynolds and asks to borrow Arthur for a bit, wanting to test his strength. For some reason, Reynolds agrees, leaving Arthur wondering if his parents have forgotten that he's still only 4. As the battle begins, he quickly infuses his legs and sword with magic and moves at incredible speed, catching Adam off guard. Unfortunately, he slips, and Adam manages to defend himself. The fight soon intensifies, and Adam stops holding back, eventually sending Arthur flying. Luckily, Angela, one of the party members, catches him just in time, saving him from the fall. The others then scold Adam for going too hard on Arthur, but he tells them he couldn't help it. Arthur is just ridiculously strong for a kid his age. He even asks Reynolds what kind of training he's been putting Arthur through. A girl named Jasmine then walks up to Arthur and asks how he managed to do that, wanting him to teach her. Several days pass, and Arthur learns many things from the adventurers while also helping Jasmine with her training. She grows to appreciate him and surprises everyone by giving him a knife as a birthday gift, something she's never done for anyone before. Just then, Arthur notices his mother nearby acting strangely, as if she's about to vomit. Concerned, he watches her closely, worried something might be wrong. As they arrive near the city, they are suddenly surrounded by a group of bandits. The bandit leader steps forward and warns his men to leave the women and child alive, telling them not to hurt them or they won't fetch a good price. As soon as he finishes speaking, the bandits launch their attack. Reynolds and the rest of the adventurer party then quickly jump into action, doing their best to fight them off while protecting Arthur and Alice. Although they're strong, they struggle under the sheer number of enemies. Suddenly, the bandit leader strikes Reynolds hard, sending him crashing into the carriage. Seeing how badly he's injured, Alice becomes worried and tries to heal him, but Reynolds refuses, reminding her that using her power would only bring more trouble if the bandits discovered what she could do. Reynolds then looks at Arthur and reveals that Alice is pregnant, so he, counting on him to get her to safety. Arthur's expression then suddenly turns serious. He promises to protect her at all costs and quickly leads her away while Reynolds holds off the bandit leader. Just as they're about to escape, one of the bandits fires a powerful spell at Alice. Arthur instinctively pushes her out of the way and takes the hit himself, sending him off the cliff. Realizing he might not survive, Arthur throws his knife, attached to a string, at the attacking bandit, managing to pull the enemy over the cliff along with him. Two of the adventurers see this and try to use their magic to catch Arthur, but it's already too late. All they can do is watch helplessly alongside Alice as Arthur falls. Arthur, on the other hand, doesn't feel afraid. Instead, he feels no regret, only pride that he was able to protect his mother. The only thing he's sad about is that he never got the chance to become a big brother. If you come this far, please consider liking and subscribing for more videos like this. Thank you.